Where's your partner in crime, Bryant?
No crime, no crime.
It is 6 o'clock. Stephen, are we live? Not hearing Stephen. I don't want to proceed until I know that we are being broadcast.
I did just get the YouTube live notification on my phone. For whatever that's worth.
All right. Well, in that case, Mr. Mayor, would you like to call the meeting to order?
Yeah, let's call this meeting to order. Notice of a special council meeting of the City Council of the City of North Kansas City, Missouri, May 8th, 2020. Go ahead, Eric.
Thank you, sir. And I appreciate the council making some time on a Friday evening. We did have what we thought was a fairly urgent matter that came up over the course of the week, particularly yesterday. So as you know, Congress passed and the President signed the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, commonly known as the CARES Act, on March 27th, which provides, among other things, for federal stimulus funds to flow to the states by population, and then to counties within the state also by population. And generally speaking, those funds are to be used for reimbursement of expenses related to dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic, not for things like revenue loss. Of course, we're going to face some severely curtailed revenues this year, but we can't use the funds for those purposes. The county governments are responsible for the distribution of those funds. A week ago, the Clay County Commission approved by a vote of 2-1, with Commissioners Ridgway and Owen in favor and Presiding Commissioner Nolte opposed, a resolution which you've been provided, which lists disbursements to entities within Clay County based on population. And the county staff recommended to the Clay County Commission a distribution according to a portion of county population. We would receive about $418,000 per the chart that's in that county resolution. Presiding Commissioner Nolte was very reluctant to sign the resolution. He indicated that he was concerned that if subrecipients such as ourselves were to misspend any of those funds, the county would be responsible for repaying the funds to the federal government. After a lot of discussion over the course of the week, so Commissioner Nolte did not sign the resolution. Actually, he signed a version of the resolution, but he added some comments to it, and as a result, the state treasurer wasn't willing to disperse the funds. Commissioner Nolte then, over the course of the week, after a lot of discussion with various parties, indicated that if the Clay County municipalities would agree to the conditions that are in the resolution that's before you, he would sign the county resolution, and then its member cities could receive their share of the distribution. So the resolution before you doesn't contain any provisions that city staff would be concerned about. We would have expected to have had to follow all these general requirements regardless, but if this is what's needed to satisfy the presiding commissioner, then we certainly would recommend adopting the resolution. So with that, the resolution's before you, and be happy to try to answer any questions you might have. Commissioner DeLong, or excuse me, Councilmember DeLong.
Yeah, I didn't want that demotion. Thank you. My question was, well, I had a few of them. What information do we have on what other political subdivisions are doing within Clay County? Do we know if any other municipalities have signed or are addressing this or what?
Yes, we were on a conference, well, the Zoom call today, and all of the major Clay County municipalities are acting. I know Excelsior Springs has a special meeting tonight, and the others will be acting very soon.
All right, and then I just want to thank everyone that was involved. I know you were involved. Other administrators were involved in putting this together. I think overall it was a fair distribution. And the problem we're having now is why I continue to advocate for direct funding to municipalities instead of this pass-through funding. And I hope other people join me in the future in advocating for direct funding to cities so we don't end up in situations like this. Thank you.
Councilmember Smith.
Brian, how would we go about advocating for direct funding? What's the direct way to do that?
I mean, Congress, Senate, dealing with our, all of our other elected officials for the most. I mean, that's the most direct way at it. I can reach out to National League of Cities does a lot with that. So they already have some, good. They already have some good platforms and stuff, I think, set up to do that. But they're getting ready to advocate for another round of funding for future, for potential future aid. They're going to push for future aid, and also that's going to be one of the things direct funding out. A lot of times we still will fall out of those windows even when you expand them. But for this one in particular, is local governments under 500,000 pretty much got lumped. All that money went to the state and then distributed from there. So that's why Kansas City got ruled out at 595 or whatever they're at. So I don't know. I just feel the more layers you go through, the more this stuff is a little messier. So
Yep.
That's
Councilmember Clevenger.
Yes, Jesse, like you were asking about advocating, the National League of Cities, they are doing a campaign right now that cities are essential. And so I can forward emails to Eric or the council from National League of Cities that are asking for us to contact our elected officials in Congress and the Senate to advocate for the next round of funding that gives funding directly to the cities. As far as this funding here, definitely want to thank staff for calling the meeting. As far as like what we anticipate to use the funds on, can you give us some examples of what we could possibly use this funding on, Eric?
I can send you some of the guidance that we're seeing. It's to some degree, there's some limitations on this, but so far we've used it for some technology purposes to allow for telework and for cleaning and disinfecting supplies. And our thought was going to be that we could have a work session on May 19th, and we could provide you with the federal guidance we're seeing, which lays out some of those things that are eligible, and discuss, how we're going to segregate the funds and make sure that we are properly spending it. So if we could defer that discussion until then, we could have a further talk about that.
That would be fine. And then I'll send you these emails that we're getting from National League of Cities as far as advocating for the next round of funding directly to cities. So, thank you.
All right. Brian?
sorry, I was going to add one more thing. And you said you talked to every municipality, right?
I think virtually all the major municipalities, which I would classify as being us, Gladstone, Liberty, Smithville, and Kearney, were on this.
So I was just curious if there's any indication what would happen if one doesn't sign. Is he not going to sign the document?
Actually, to be honest with you, my understanding is based upon the assurance of the mayors. Presiding Commissioner Nolte has actually signed it. Based upon the assurance of the mayors that their councils would consider it and would almost certainly approve it. So I think he, based in good faith upon those assurances, has gone ahead and sent that in. That's my understanding.
Okay, and then I'll just add one more thing, what I previously said. I sent an email to Mark late last night, and I'm working with the First Tier Suburbs Council to try to collect basically testimonials and stories and data from Kansas City Metro First Tier Suburbs to try to show the impact of this as we work on lobbying towards more funding. That's it.
Mayor Stilo, did you have something, sir?
Yes, I talked directly with Jerry Nolte, I think it was yesterday, and he assured me that all the other cities, the major cities, were all on board with this.
If there are no other questions, is there a motion?
All right. I'll move to approve. Is it Bryant?
Second.
Second.
So I think I heard DeLong, seconded by Smith.
Councilmember Clevenger,
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember Stewart,
Yes.
Councilmember Stefan,
Yes.
Councilmember DeLong,
Yes.
Councilmember Pierce,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Pearman.
Yes.
7-0, motion carries.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
I will move to adjourn. Is it
Second.
Bryant?
Everybody wants to go.
Councilmember Clevenger,
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember Stewart,
Yes.
Councilmember Stefan,
Yes.
Councilmember DeLong,
Yes.
Councilmember Pierce,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Pearman.
Yes.
There we go. Everyone have a good weekend.
Yep.
Thank you,
Everybody
everybody.
stay safe. Have a great
Thanks,
weekend.
guys.